and welcome to NoteRunner Studio. I'm Jen Butekofer, co-founder of the NoteRunner Studio software. Stick with us as we walk through a series of help videos that will teach you about the features in the NoteRunner Studio software. For personal assistance in setting up your studio, you can contact us by email or phone, and we would be happy to assist you. We hope you enjoy your NoteRunner experience. Today we will learn how to set up your studio for the first time. If you haven't already signed up for services, go to NoteRunner.com and select the NoteRunner Studio button in the top right-hand corner. If you have already completed this step, then clicking this button will take you to the login page. Let's enter our username and password and log in. This first screen is the wizard screen. You will only see the screen the first time you log in, as it's intended to assist you in the initial setup process. Let's begin with step 1, enter studio information. Click Studio Setup. There are only a few fields that are required on this page: studio name, owner name, phone number, and email. The rest can be filled out at a later time if desired. Let's take a look at a few of the fields, starting with Select Studio Image at the top. Clicking this button allows teachers to upload a picture of themselves or a picture of their studio that will be visible from the student view and within the software itself, that will make it a more personal experience. If you would like your students to have the option to use PayPal for billing, select Yes where it says Use PayPal for Studio Billing. Each student will still have the option to turn that ability on or off within their own account. Verbose mode allows teachers to see help messages throughout the software, so they will have assistance when they are beginning to use the software. After you feel comfortable, you can turn this off and you will no longer see those help messages, but will still have access to help by clicking Help up in the top right-hand corner. Let's skip down to Studio Facebook address. Here, teachers can enter their Facebook business page or their personal web page or business web page, and that will be visible through the student view for the students to see. We will discuss the specifics of how to do this at a later time. The PayPal subscription ID and the PayPal Buy Now ID allow teachers to create buttons within the student view so that students can pay online and set up subscriptions to pay online. The invoice starting index is simply the number you'd like to start with when sending out your invoices. The default calendar view allows you to set how you would like to see the calendar when you log in. You can change this at any time. You can see the monthly view, the list view, the day view, and the weekly view. The last field, I've entered some of the information already. The last field is invoice notes. In this field here, you can enter any notes that you would like to see on all of the invoices that go out. So initially, the default information in this field will be the student's username and password that they will need in order to log into their student account. Let's save the studio information and continue on. Step 2, create event categories. Click Category Setup. Now, a category is a generalized label for specific events. So if my category is piano lessons, the category itself is the general label piano lessons, and I will have several different events within that category, namely Jen's piano lesson, or Bo's piano lesson, or Alexa's piano lesson. You could have a category called piano lessons, a category called guitar lessons or group classes, recitals, competitions. So most teachers will have about 1 to 5 categories per studio. Let's select our title and our fee type. There are several different options for fee type. I'm going to select per event because I would like my students to pay every time a lesson occurs. You can also select pay by the month, pay one time only, pay hourly, or don't charge anything at all. This one-time fee type allows for a student would pay the initial time that event occurred and would not pay for any events after that show up on the calendar. enter my fee rate that's associated with that fee type. And last, I'm going to enter my color. This is the color. When I create events in this type of category, they will show up on the calendar as being purple. So I will know that that event is a piano lesson and it costs $25 per lesson just by viewing it on the calendar. I can also enter any notes or any media down in this field here that I would like to associate with that category. Let's click Save. I can add more categories at this time or move on. This Reschedule Times category is a default category we will discuss later that allows teachers the ability to set up rescheduling capabilities for their students. Let's click Setup Wizard and move on to step 3. Add students and groups. Click Manage Groups. Click New Student. There are only a few required fields on this screen as well: first name, last name, and email address. This is where the student can set up whether they would like to have the PayPal option or not. They can enable email reminders, they can enable texting reminders, and the teacher can enter this information, but the student will also have the ability to log into their account and set up all the student information as well. The teacher only needs to really add the first name, last name, and email address. This NoteRunner Studio login will be assigned after the student is added, and teachers will be able to come back and look at that student and see what the login is, and students will be emailed their username and password and can log in and change their password. Street, city, state, and zip. Let's move down to the discount at the bottom. This allows for teachers to offer students a discounted rate. So if I have a group class that costs $50 for each student, but I have a family that has 3 students coming to the class and I would like them to have a discounted rate, I can offer them, I can put the discount amount at the bottom here, and it will take a percentage off of their rate. Let's click Save. You can continue adding new students or move on to the Setup Wizard. I have also added Alexa in here as another student, and I'm going to move on to the Setup Wizard. Step 4, add calendar events. Click New Events and click New Event. Here's where we are going to set up our specific events. I'm going to title my event Beau's Piano Lesson, and I'm going to select the category Piano Lesson. So here's where the piano lesson is the general label, and the specific instance of that category is Beau's Piano Lesson. I'm going to select Beau as the student, and I'm going to select the day I would like to have lessons on, the time, the length of the lesson, the duration. Down here I can enter any notes again and any media I'd like to have associated with that student. And I can set up how frequently I would like that event to occur. In this case, I would like it to occur weekly, every week, every Thursday. I am not going to enter a date down here in this field where it says repeat until, because I want that lesson to repeat forever. If I want it to stop at a certain point, I can add a date down here. I'm going to save my information. And I can set up another event, which I'm going to set up one more student. Alexa's lesson. There's my other piano lesson. The category again is piano lesson. I have both my students. I can continue setting up students, but at this point, I am going to return to my Setup Wizard. The last step is to change your password so that it's unique and you have your privacy. After you submit your password, you will be required to log in with that new password. So let's log in. This is what you will typically see when you log into your software after you have set up your studio. You can see that I have Beau's Piano Lesson and Alexa's Piano Lesson visible, and they are purple because they are piano lessons with a specific cost of $25 per event. You are ready to get started.